Welcome to Dubai International Airport, where today we're very excited to fly the new Emirates 777 first class from Dubai to Brussels. Now that was an absolutely delicious lunch. The catering in this lounge by Emirates is always pretty top notch. We're about to go board our flight now. Gate is closing soon. I'm really excited for the flight. New 777 first class. I've done it a few times, but this should be a very fun video. Super ostentatious, super exciting. But as usual on this channel, I'll also tell you a little story along the way. Now I'm the founder of a travel company and I make content at the intersection of travel, business, and global citizenship. And in today's video, I'll tell you a little bit about how this genre of videos actually works. How I and other people in the industry make these first class flight videos and actually are able to make a living off doing it and sharing the experience with you. It's definitely quite an interesting topic, so if you've been curious about this or you have aspirations of doing so yourself, you'll definitely want to stay tuned for the video. Now, let's go board. So the gate B32 is a little bit far. Emirates provides these buggy transfers in the terminal for first class passengers, which is really nice. A big lifesaver today. A little bit awkward zooming past the passengers on the side, but it is what it is. Gate B32 right there. It's always such a pleasure to be back on the Emirates Game Changer. Such a unique product. We'll go for a full seat tour once we take off. For now, just enjoying some Dom Perignon. Now, let's get one thing clear, which is when I'm flying all these flights and making these videos, right, I'm working hard to make this video. And it's a very different experience than if I were just flying and relaxing and having fun the whole flight. So keep that in mind as we begin the video, as we show you the full Emirates first class experience and as I share how this all works to make
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
This is an example of what I'm talking about. Oh my god, so this is going on forever. As I share more of the behind the scenes. Alright, let's begin here with the seat itself is definitely something to behold. I mean, it's designed by Mercedes-Benz, feels extremely luxurious in pretty much every way. What's really cool is I can hit this button and the seat starts to move. And later on, we'll make it a bed. But this mode, it's called zero gravity mode. You get to just lie down, lie back, and feel as if you're floating in the air as you're soaring in the sky here in this 777. All right, so we're just about reaching cruising altitude now. Let's go ahead and get up. The fact that we can stand up in this seat, in this room, is pretty incredible. It's time to change into some slippers. There we go, super comfortable. I love the fact that they wrap around your feet. They'll stick on your feet no matter what. And now, let's go for a full tour of the Emirates 777 Game Changer suite. All right, this is obviously the seat that we're just sitting in. Super comfortable pillows. Here, there's a little cabinet. It's useful for storing a little bag, but not too much space. Here we've obviously got the door and the service hatch that we've closed for complete and utter privacy in the suite. Actually, I should say, there are these small holes so that the crew can still look at you when you're inside. So it's not complete privacy, but it's pretty close. Then coming on this side, obviously here you've got another storage unit. Now this storage unit is quite a bit bigger. I put my backpack in here. It's a nice space to put a little personal item, something to keep it out of the way. Now here we've got the tray table, which you just pull out like this and it slides down and locks into place. It's a fairly sturdy surface for eating or drinking or working. And if we check this out, you've got a little vanity mirror complete with lights on the side, some skincare items over here, and a little notebook, writing pad with a pen as well. Now I want to draw your attention right here to obviously this incredibly large entertainment screen, but up here you've got this really beautiful design, and it's what's known as the gaff tree, which is the Emirati national tree, which you'll see reflected up here, embroidered beautifully on the fabric as well. This feels really nice to the touch and super luxurious. And last but not least, taking a look at this side of the suite, first check out these very elegant curtains on either side, but of course, here's the control panel, very high resolution, very easy to touch. You've got some buttons here that control all of the blinds. You can see how everything gets dark with just a few clicks of the button. Take a look up here. I want to show you these lights, super elegant as well. It's as though they're little diamonds set in the ceiling above. And last but not least, the feature that we've all been looking forward to, this little snack cabinet. Let's grab some jelly beans. Let's grab this as well. Mellow yellow chocolate lemon stuff and some hydrating formula. Now, this is going to be a pretty basic rundown, but let's talk a little bit about how a video like this actually gets made and how it fits into the overall travel creator economy as a whole. But on the most basic level, I'll break it down into three parts throughout this video. The production, which is how a video like this actually gets made. The monetization, which is how I and other creators actually make money making these videos. and the professionalization, how we build a career, how it's possible to build a career doing travel videos or sharing travel content, doing something you love overall. Now, when it comes to producing a travel video or travel content in general, as you can imagine, there's a lot of work that goes into making a finished product like you see today. And we can talk about it in two parts. One is coming up with the idea for the video, and two is actually making the video. Now, when it comes to story and ideation, this is the part where it's worth spending some time thinking about what you're passionate about in your day-to-day life. What are the things that influence you? What are the things that inspire you? What's your story? What's your unique niche that you can position yourself in and deliver a message stronger than anyone else can? For myself, for example, it's first class flights and the journey of being an entrepreneur in the travel space. For you, it might be something like a combination of travel and fitness, how you navigate those two journeys together. Perhaps it's traveling the world as a student. Maybe it's something as simple as navigating your job while finding time to travel on the side as well. Now, the good thing about making a flight video is that there's very much a built-in storyline to every flight, right? It's the whole experience from start to finish, from the cabin, the seat, the food, the drinks, pajamas, showers, whatever it is. So some topics tend to have a built-in storyline that helps you make a video. For other things, you might have to think a little bit more about what the audience is going to resonate with, what's a story that's really going to grab people's attention. But it's worth spending some time on this process if you want to maximize your odds of success. And I personally spend a lot of time thinking about what's the story I want to tell, especially as we take this channel in a more story-driven direction. In fact, I'd very much say that when you're making a travel video or a piece of travel content, the story is actually more important than the actual hard production side. Obviously, having some nice gear like a professional camera does come in handy, but you can also film on an iPhone, and the quality is pretty good as well. And you can still see this is a very nice video. But beyond that, there's so many different ways you can optimize your video production and your video creation skills. I like to think that my videos today are much better than they were 4 or 5 years ago. And in the future, they'll be even better as I build my skills. So it's definitely something that'll take a bit of practice and doing it yourself to get better at. But on the most basic level, something as simple as mixing up the camera angle can really add to your production style and your production value. Now, this is getting a bit precarious. I'm gonna take it down. Now, here's one last thing to think about when it comes to production, which is short form video tends to be the easier place to get started these days. Long form video takes a little bit more work, but it does help to deepen the audience relationship over time. So I would recommend it if you're serious about making travel content. You can also get started writing a blog. That's where I had gotten started back in the day as well. So it really depends on your style and what you're all about. Make a choice for yourself. Okay, so caviar is served, kicking off the lunch service. And if you're familiar with Emirates, you'll know that they serve an incredibly giant portion of caviar, way bigger than any of the other airlines. It's literally like the size of my fist over here. And the best part is you can actually order multiples, so I might get one later on as well. But for now, this is a big dollop for us to dig into. All right, so as we dig into the caviar here, let's talk a little bit about monetization. How can anyone make videos about anything that they're passionate about, make a livelihood doing so? So the fundamental thing to think about when it comes to travel content or content in general, the reason why I work hard on making these videos when I'm on a flight instead of just relaxing, right? What's the payoff? Well, the payoff is the fact that I can spend 6 hours, 7 hours making one video, and it can reach tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of people with my message. That can reach such a broad audience with the message that I'm trying to send through the video. That's something that's really cool about this generation, this time that we live in, because we didn't have that opportunity, 10, 20 years ago. But now it's just like, sit down, make a cool video, and we reach such a big audience. Slowly build that core audience of people who like what you're doing, people who find it valuable, and that's when the numbers start going up. Now, even when the views are going up, does that automatically translate into money, right? Monetization, does it mean you can make a living doing what you love through content? Not necessarily, because views alone, it's not really a viable path towards monetization. Let's just talk about AdSense on YouTube, right? Where you're watching this video. You'll generally get a few cents for every 1,000 views. So unless you're racking up millions of views, the AdSense money isn't really gonna stack up to anything meaningful. But that, my friends, is where brand deals or sponsorships comes into play. And I would say this is the most common way for the average creator to monetize their work, right? To get paid for the value that they're creating. Remember how we talked about 10,000 or 100,000 people can see a given video. That's extremely valuable. And there's partners out there, sponsors, other companies who are willing to pay for that value that you're creating by making a video. So just as an example, okay, this t-shirt that I'm wearing is called Unbound Merino. It's a merino wool t-shirt. It's great for traveling. You can wear it multiple times over the course of a week. This video isn't sponsored, by the way, but if it were, I might go something like, this video is brought to you by Unbound Merino. It's the t-shirt I'm wearing right now. It's something I find really valuable. Great t-shirt that I really enjoy, and you should check it out. That's the kind of sponsored ad read that you've seen in these videos before. And that's an example of how creators like myself might get paid. By the way, Unbound, if you're watching this, let's talk. This caviar, by the way, is really top notch. But yeah, I just love how there's so many different options. Caviar all done, on to the next. Here we've got the beef consomme soup, which sounds really good, smells really good. I think it's gonna taste really good too. And I'm pairing it with a Bordeaux red. I think it's the Côte d'Estournel Saint-Estèphe red wine. Emirates is known for its incredible wine collection. So if you're flying Emirates first class or even business class, you should definitely make an effort to try out some of the reds, some of the whites. Let's give it a go. Okay, so here we've got a very impressive Arabic meze plate. Whenever I'm flying with an airline, I always make an effort to try the food from the airline's country of origin. And so flying Emirates, you've got to try the Arabic meze. You know, other Middle Eastern airlines, Etihad, Qatar Airways do the same thing. Although Emirates does it a little bit more elaborately. They've got little plates for each of them. Mohamara, hummus, baba ganoush, tabbouleh over here, and the kibbeh over here, plus a little bit of pita bread to go with everything. This is going to take me a little while to finish, although I've got this rose iced tea mocktail to wash it all down with. All right, here we've got the main course, Arabic spiced butter prawns. I mean, it looks delicious. I'm pretty full. And you know, I've been in the habit of eating too much on planes in the past. If you're a longtime viewer, you'll know I've been trying to do that less, but old habits die hard. So I'm gonna give this an honest go, but honestly, getting pretty full at this point. We're talking about the fact that sponsorships, brand deals, they're kind of the most common ways to monetize this stuff, right? Make money from your videos, make it worth your while. Another example might be something like affiliate marketing. So for example, on our other YouTube channel, Prince of Travel, we talk a lot about credit cards and the best credit cards to get to travel the world on points just like you see here. And if we talk about a credit card that the viewer finds valuable and they sign up through our link, then we get paid for driving that conversion. So that's another way to monetize something you're passionate about if you're trying to give that a go and make some quality content. Of course, you also got to keep in mind that there's costs associated with your travel experiences as well. For example, this flight on Emirates first class cost me about 140,000 Emirates Skywards miles, plus about $1,000 in fees for Hong Kong to Bangkok, Bangkok to Dubai, Dubai to Brussels, all the way. So that's a little tip for you, by the way. If you're redeeming Emirates Skywards miles, you can do that all the way. You can even add a stopover in Dubai or a layover in Bangkok for the same price. But anyway, even though I used points and I didn't have to pay the full price of Emirates first class, that's still a lot of points and a fair bit of cash to part ways with. And so a key part of making travel content and making all of this work is thinking about how you're going to get your return on investment for any amount that you spend on your travel experience. I know some people out there who make similar videos, first class flights, luxury travel, they pay top dollar for every single experience, but the sponsors on the videos make it worthwhile. So it's gonna be something different for everyone. And if you wanna give it a go, you just need to find what works for you. So this is one of two bathrooms on the Emirates 777. Here we've got the sink, a little bit of counter space on the side. Obviously amenities for first class passengers. Some nice eau de toilette by Bulgari, baby changing table, and the signature gaff tree design that symbolizes Emirates 777 first class. And now teleporting over here to the second of two first class bathrooms. This one's a little bit bigger. You can see a similar layout here. I love the wooden design, but there's just a little bit more space, plus a bench that you can fold down and sit down. Here we've got the Emirates first class pajamas. Let's see what they actually look like. Okay, check this out. It's a light gray top, dark gray bottoms, and I find a lot of airlines these days are going for an all black look with the pajamas. So in that respect, it's still quite nice to see Emirates keeping up the two-tone gray colors. Now, as far as first class beds go, this is definitely right up there. I mean, the seat that I was showing you earlier has now transformed into an extremely spacious bed, and this being one of the world's largest first class cabins, you really have so much room to move around your whole body, your legs, your upper body, your torso, your arms. You've got all the freedom in the world to enjoy your cabin as you sleep. We've got about 2 hours left to go until Brussels, so let's turn down these blinds and I'll show you something fun. So you can see how it's gotten a bit dark here now. And check this out. The background lights have turned on, and what's better, you can actually change the color and have a little disco party. I think I like the red version best, although I have to say, this is a pretty addicting process, and I could just lie here for hours doing this. Now, as we have a little bit of rest over here, let's pick up the story. We've talked about production, we've talked about monetization. Now let's talk a little bit about professionalization, which is along the lines of what happens when it's time to go beyond just being a creator, just making these videos one by one, and taking things more seriously, building a business, building a venture, and what that might look like. Now, this is a journey that I've been on for the past 7 years or so I can speak to it a little bit, and I thought I'd share my perspective. You see, here's the thing when you're a creator making videos like this one that you're watching right now. You keep making videos, you get the brand deals, you get the affiliate income, you get the money coming in, and that's great. But if you stop making videos, then all that stops as well. And the other thing is, when you're posting on platforms like YouTube or social media, you're always subject to the whims of the algorithms of these platforms, right? So if the algorithms change, or if the user behavior on the platform changes, that's not something that's necessarily within your control. You kind of have to fall in line with whatever the platform wants you to do. Now, on the other hand, if you're able to get your audience to sign up for something that you have ownership over, let's say an email list or something similar, and then offer them products that can solve problems that they're facing, this is where you're able to monetize your content in a way that doesn't depend on others. It's a way of professionalizing the work that you're doing, building a business over time, building something that's sustainable in the long run. All right, let's continue here, because what professionalizing also means, in addition to what I talked about, is probably building a team, right? If you're a creator, there's only so much you can do in 24 hours a day. Most of the creators you watch, they've got teams behind them because there's honestly a lot to do, and it's nearly impossible for one person to get it done. I mean, I know as much as anybody because I used to be the creator who did everything by myself. Back in the day, I would write all the blog posts, I would write all the newsletters, I would figure out all the back-end stuff for the business. I'd film all the videos and edit all the videos myself. If you go back to some of the videos from before, I mean, I would consider myself a pretty accomplished video editor because I had to do it all by myself. But the thing is, editing videos just takes way too much time, and then I didn't have enough time to do all the other things that would make Prince of Travel and the whole business grow into its full potential. So I've been at this for about 7 years, and it was about 4 years ago that I decided, instead of just being a creator, I wanted to professionalize, I wanted to build something even bigger, even more impactful. And I since embarked on the journey of building a team and finding the right people to come on the journey with me and make Prince of Travel and the work we do here something so much more impactful than if it was just myself. Now, to wrap up the flight, of course we've got some of the Hennessy Paradis. This is $1,000 a bottle, rare cognac, and when it's being offered, you just gotta partake a little bit. So it was actually quite a generous pour still, maybe a little too much. Not trying to go too crazy here. Let's give it a taste. It's good stuff. So as we wrap up here, I'll share with you a little bit around why I think all of this is important to understand. For me, the travelers of the future are going to be defined to some extent by the content they make, the way they share their travels with their circle of friends and family, or perhaps their audience that they've built online. If you think about it, travel is such a fulfilling thing for many of us. And if you combine that with the innate fulfillment that comes with self-expression through content, through making videos that spread a message to a large audience, that's something I see growing in relevance and prominence in the coming years, in the coming decades. So that's number one. Number two, likewise, the businesses of the future, I believe, are powered by content as well. Think about what the major businesses that grow in the coming 10, 20, 50 years are going to look like. Well, they're surely going to be powered by this new opportunity that we have to connect with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people just from making one piece of content. Bringing your camera or bringing your phone on one trip that you go on and sharing that with the world. So on both ends, I see the attractiveness and the appeal and the eventual upside of sharing travel content and documenting your travels as something that's only going to increase in the future. If you feel a message inside you that needs to be shared, hopefully this video helps you come off the fence a little bit. And hey, if you watch these videos and you just enjoy living vicariously, no interest in doing it yourself, then hopefully at least it satisfied your curiosity as to how this whole thing works, how the travel creator economy works, how those of us who make these videos can actually do so sustainably and make a living out of our passions. With that said, I got a whole glass of cognac to finish off here, so cheers, and I'll see you as we land.